You are looking live from the Hive in Atlanta, Georgia, as the Atlanta Swarm take on the Tulsa Desperados here in the Simulation Football League wildcard playoff game. I'm Colin Northup alongside Rick Northup.
Good evening, everybody.
Rochelle Colston manning the stats for us.
I'm super excited, Colin. What about you?
It's SFL After Dark,
Yeah.
and if it can be anything like Pac-12 After Dark, we're in for something crazy.
Indeed. Welcome, everybody, to Simulation Football League Saturday Night Football.
As the captains are at midfield, Marcus Dunhill and Ashley Jackson. Tulsa calls heads.
And
They win the toss and will elect to put their defense on the field first.
Colin, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, Atlanta is certainly a high-risk, high-reward kind of offense. Marcus Dunhill is averaging over 8 yards per attempt and has thrown for over 4,000 yards this year as a surefire MVP candidate. But Tulsa, Ashley Jackson's no slouch. That'll be something to keep an eye on there. Mark Mello has the ball teed up for Tulsa. It's time for playoff football. And we're underway. Return fielded by the Swarm up across to they're going to call it the 28-yard line, where we'll see the Atlanta Swarm take over, led by Marcus Dunhill.
I agree with you, Colin. Dunhill is quite a playmaker, and he can hit you hard. Sometimes, though, like you said, high risk, high reward. Those backfire a little bit. He's going to have to keep his head in the game and try not to do too much.
BDG Hollywood is in the backfield. He's going to get the carry, and Hollywood goes left side and will pick up close to 5 yards on the play. He had 4 touchdowns last time these two teams met in week 2, and had close to 1,000 yards receiving, 934 to be exact.
Wow.
Here they come out with 3 tight ends. Jamal Wooding, the big second-year man, 6'6", is in the formation. They'll swing it out to Hollywood, and Hollywood is doing it all on his own as he outran his blockers. Tackle made by Espen Real, number 99 for Tulsa.
Well, they want to get Hollywood going and get him get a feel for the game. Get him a feel for the game. And Dunhill, you see why he's such a pro. Totally looks all over the field except for the swing out to Hollywood, Colin, and then at the last minute, and nobody's covering him.
He goes to Hollywood, and he fumbled the ball! Hollywood fumbled the ball, and it's picked up by Tulsa.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry I mentioned a feel for the game, because apparently I didn't have a feel for the ball on that one. The heck?
It looks like who popped that ball loose? It looked like it was Kanye Rockefeller, and one of his teammates, let me see here, that was number 55. Recovered the ball. Empty shotgun look for Jackson. She's back to throw.
For it.
Throws over the middle, it is complete.
Sorry to talk over you there, Colin. I thought that was going to be a deep ball right off the bat.
That was Miller. Ashley Jackson, the first female quarterback in SFL history, over 6,000 passing yards, was 8th overall in the season 12 rookie draft, also serves in Tulsa's front office.
How many TDs?
46 touchdowns. Pretty impressive. Alonzo Robinson gets the carry, and Robinson surges ahead and will get knocked down to the Atlanta 35.
A real threat to have the first down of the game there, Colin.
Let's take a look at this defense. It's Ghibli Do at defensive end, number 95. or Joshua Williams at defensive tackle. Dylan Rowland as Jackson is back to throw, fires over the middle, it is complete for a first down to the 28-yard line. That's Corey Jones. The other players include Aquantis Shine at outside linebacker. The corners, Blake Hamrack and Jack Napier. The safeties are Aaron Lee at strong. As Robinson gets the carry, he gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. And then we have Blake Chance at free safety. His backup is Mitchell O'Brien. We have Lawrence Sackham at defensive end and Tim Cleland at the other defensive end position, flanking Williams. Jackson lines up I formation, calls out the signals, takes the drop back, fires over the middle of the field, and is caught on a slant cut down to the 12-yard line. That is Mike Osai, the veteran who came over from Dallas in free agency.
Beautiful play call right there. And watch this. Boom. Just waits, knows it's going to break into a little bit of a seam there, and delivers it. Well done.
Anthony Mosley is the tight end for Tulsa, number 45. He's flexed out. Stephen Bush is the other receiver, in addition to Jones and Osai. Jackson, he's back to throw, fires it out, cut. It's a first down and nearly a touchdown as he gets stopped at the 1-inch line. Some early numbers from Jackson. She's 3 for 3. 2 catches by Jones and a catch by Osai. Don't forget to visit the Simulation Football League at simulationfl.net for more information on this great league. And Tulsa will throw, fires to the end zone. It is incomplete.
Oh, so close.
I really thought they were just going to run it there with Robinson. They had double tight end, one to either side, but Deion Hawkins elects to use an early challenge flag. He thinks that was a touchdown. So we'll get our first peek under the hood with our old friend R62, a controversial figure in many SFL circles, as Anthony Mosley was the man intended to catch it, and he was well out of bounds. And Tulsa will lose a timeout as the ruling is confirmed on the field. Not enough evidence to overturn. 2nd and goal from the 1-inch line. Jackson walks up to the line of scrimmage. 3 wide receivers, slot to the bottom. Turns, gets to Robinson, sweeping, and he will not get in.
Oh, no.
He's racked up at the goal line by Blake Chance.
Wow. Good pursuit. Brings up 3rd and goal, Colin, and I am still scratching my head over that challenge.
I am too.
It is clearly not going to work on the replay. I guess just got a little antsy and threw it too soon before word came down from his booth.
And he nearly interception thrown as the Qantas Shine knocked that away. And Mark Mello will basically try what is an extra point. Disappointing sequence of events for Tulsa.
Tulsa's still going to be happy to put some points on the board here. Points off turnover, right? That's going to go look really nice on the stat sheet, on the box score. But I know where you're going with that, Colin. They want 7.
You got to question the sequence of plays there. Mark Mello, place kicker, signed in week 7.
There's been a little bit of a brain cramp on the sideline between the challenge and those play calls, Colin.
And the field goal from 17 yards is good. So with 6:32 left in the first quarter, Tulsa takes advantage of a turnover and turns it into 3 points. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on the 11 Sports Network. So the Desperados get 3 points off the fumble from Hollywood, and the return by the receiver, that is Cerberus, is Atlanta is hosting their first ever postseason game here. They have a 36-38 record at all time, 1-1 in the playoffs. More wins than any other team who's never hosted a playoff game. They advanced to the semifinals in season 9, lost in double overtime to Chicago.
Man, those are great factoids, and thanks to Cam and the league office for putting those graphics together. A lot
As Hollywood sweeps wide, and he will lose 3 yards on the play. Chased down by Charles Ball.
A lot of great graphics and stuff. A lot of hard work into that. Looks great. Thank you. Well, Colin, Atlanta is going to try this again.
Yeah, 3-man backfield. Extra tight end flanking the fullback Peyton Chisholm. They'll get to Hollywood again on the power play. He's got room, first down, and a whole lot more. Up over the 50 into Tulsa territory as he's knocked out at the 48.
He got a little giddy up there, and
a run of some 26 yards on the play is Kanye Rockefeller.
He's got a lot of giddy up there, Colin, and he feels bad about losing the handle on the rock in their first possession, which, as you pointed out, led to 3 points. So they spot Tulsa 3. Now they get back to business.
Now they have 2 receivers to the top. The tight ends are to the bottom. Same side, Dunhill swings out to Hollywood, and Hollywood will pick up 6 yards.
That play worked better last time. And you can see those the double tight end set they throw to that side. Those guys go downfield and try and pick up some blockers, but Hollywood's got to make that first man miss, and great open field tackle there.
Corners for the Desperados are Nate Headsup and Dante West. And the safeties are Kanye Rockefeller and Charles Ball. It's Dunhill. 6-step drop, fires it out, and it's complete to the 33-yard line. That is Boo Chisholm.
He's got a little chat back there for Nate Heslop.
And then Chisholm was averaging over 17.4 yards per catch. And in the regular season, that was 4th best in the SFL. As Hollywood gets racked up for a loss of 2 yards, Ghibli do on the TFL there, 2nd down and 12. Dunhill up under center, has an offset I formation, 1 receiver to either side. Siege Falco to the bottom of your picture. Dunhill back to throw. Fires it down the middle. What a diving catch by Siege Falco. His first down to the 17.
Well run route there as he tries to hit the seam, and Dunhill delivers. Kind of get that feeling, when Dunhill is back to pass, he just has so much confidence in his arm. He makes good reads and he delivers the ball, generally speaking, on time and well placed.
30 yards so far for Hollywood. He will get it on the swing again. This time he has blockers, but they didn't do anything, and he'll lose a yard. We'll get a look at how the SFL works. Teams have coaching staffs, and they break down film in order to build a game plan that will be effectively used against performance, and users can improve their player each week, get their stats tracked, customize their look, plus get to hear their name on national television.
Absolutely. It's a ton of fun.
Here's Hollywood again on the carry, sweeping wide, and this time he'll lose 2 yards as Charles Ball came up brilliantly in run support.
Yeah, impressive pursuit on those last two plays by Tulsa. They're starting to get themselves organized a little bit on defense.
Now he's down to 33 yards. We got a 3rd and 13 from the 20-yard line. Dunhill all by himself in the shotgun. This is dangerous. With Ghibli do rushing, here's the throw down the middle. It's complete down to the 1-yard line. That was Boo Chisholm again, and only 1st and goal for Atlanta.
They run that. They run the patterns really well. He had a couple of open options, and that was important, as you talked about, Colin. There was nobody. There was no help in the backfield, and there was a free runner coming off the right side of the Atlanta formation. A free rusher. But Dunhill gets the ball away, and here we go.
Prime Hollywood territory here. He's lined up deep in the backfield. And Marcus will give it to him. 3rd man through the hole, and he walks in for an easy Atlanta Swarm touchdown. No, wait, that's the backup. The backup came in and mooched off a touchdown.
Stole the glory from Hollywood.
That was Riley Freeman.
Freeman wants his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame there.
Good block by Peyton Chisholm, the fullback.
Well, you know what? It is the playoffs, right? So everybody's expecting Hollywood to get the ball. They bring in a backup or an odd man, and nobody expects him to get the ball. They give it to him, and he scores.
This is Jay Miraculous trying the field goal for Atlanta. He was signed in week 9.
Niner. Did you say Niner?
Yes, he did. As the extra point is up and good. So with 2:08 to go, Atlanta takes the 7-3 lead. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on the 11 Sports Network. Welcome back to Atlanta as Miraculous kicks this away to Charles Ball. Field this from about his 10-yard line. Up the middle he goes, breaking a couple tackles and knocked down at the 31. Our statistician, Rochelle Colston, has tracked Atlanta stats so far. Marcus Dunhill's 5 for 5. He's yet to miss a pass.
Wow. And I was just remarking how much confidence he seems to sort of engender when he's dropping back for a pass.
Jackson's 4 of 7 for 17 yards. She's back to throw again. This is complete out for a 4-yard pickup to Mike Osai. And this is game number 50 for Tulsa.
Is that right?
Look at it. The graphic here, Deion Hawkins was a player. He played for his own team, but before that he played for DC, Houston, and Chicago. They made the playoffs in their expansion year, finishing 9-3, and became the 17th team all time to reach at least 50 wins in the SFL.
Wow.
I formation, Jackson drops. Will fire one.
Oh.
Oh, it's knocked away by, I believe, that is Jack Napier, the undrafted rookie free agent. And that'll be a 3rd down and 5.
Was that knocked away because it hit him in the back? Are we back to that? Really?
Tulsa 1 for 2 on 3rd down. He has 3rd and 5. They need to get to a little past their own 40-yard line. They have trips to the bottom. Jackson to throw. Fires down the middle. It's complete to Corey Jones, who gets knocked down at the Swarm 46-yard line by Aaron Lee, among others.
You know, Ashley's got to raise her game in the quarterback duel right here, and she does. nicely delivered ball. You got Dunhill, who has yet to throw an incompletion. The Desperados are going to need her to have a solid game as they get into plus territory.
Now we have Twins to the bottom and an offset eye. Robinson is the deep back. He gets the ball. The pulling guard trying to lead the way, but instead they lose 2 yards.
Pulling guard pulled a groin or something. What the heck? Ugh.
Joshua Williams knifed through the defensive
What?
tackle position and got.
And then he like falls down. Oh, come on.
Second down and 12, a little bit off schedule.
To say the least. You try and be second and 11, second and 10, really, right?
Jackson back to throw, fires an outcut. It is complete to Mosley, who is flexed out wide as a wideout. Knocked out of bounds at the Swarm 44, third down forthcoming.
Hey, let's check in on the Rick meter, Colin. We're nearing the end of the first quarter and a little back and forth, and the Rick meter's undecided. It's still in neutral. It might be thinking about moving Atlanta's way, but wants to see another couple possessions from both teams.
Yes, the ever popular Rick meter.
As you know, in my own mind, I believe every team plays for the glory of the Rick meter.
4 wide receivers. Jackson hit as she throws. Oh, and it's way out of bounds. I believe the pass was intended for a side. It was Williams bearing down again.
You know, and Osai was open. Lucky for Atlanta that they were able to put a hit on Ashley Jackson as she was releasing that ball, because if otherwise she was going to deliver that on time and on budget.
And don't forget, earlier today, Houston beat Chicago 13-7. Everett Garrison scored Houston's only touchdown on a pick six. Ash Odom was held to 23 carries and 77 yards. Neither back had a rush over 10 yards. By far and away the lowest scoring playoff game in SFL history. As King Jack Washington downs this punt inside the 10 at the 5, they'll mark it. And Atlanta has a way to go. They got 7 points on their last drive, looking to extend their advantage here as we approach the end of the first. Marcus Dunhill is under center, 3 tight ends. Hollywood is standing in his own end zone. And they'll swing it out to Hollywood. He's out of the end zone.
Oh!
And he spins ahead, and they'll give him a first down to the 15. He pretty much did that on his own. And as we reach the end of the first quarter, Atlanta is in front of Tulsa 7-3. We have a 1st and 10 from the 15. They'll swing it out again to Hollywood. He's got blockers this time. Runs over a defender and gets knocked out of bounds at the 29. Rick, that was a fast-moving first quarter, but it looks like Atlanta's trying to establish control.
I think so. They know they've got to keep their foot on the gas pedal.
Hollywood, that's his 3rd catch for 30 yards. He's more receiving yards than he does rushing yards at this point in time. The Desperados have the league's 3rd worst rush defense. They give up over 111 yards per game coming in. 3-man backfield for Atlanta. 3rd man through is Hollywood, and Hollywood gained 5 yards up the middle. And that 111 yards per game is the 3rd worst in the last 2 full Simulation Football League seasons. That'll be an interesting matchup to keep our eye on, Rick.
Indeed, and that run with Hollywood, just standard up the middle kind of stuff, is very serviceable for Atlanta because of this.
And they swing it out.
Oh,
Hollywood made one man miss with a spin in a second, and he picked up the first down and get tackled at his own 42. And Marcus Dunhill's completion streak is now 7. He's 7 of 7 for 78 yards and a touchdown. Quarterback rating of over 152.7.
oh my gosh. Well, no wonder yours truly has a lot of confidence in him slinging the rock.
As Dunhill takes a 7-step drop, fires down the field, and the receiver had to become the defender to knock that away, incomplete. And Dunhill's completion streak finally ends. As we get a look at Dunhill, he's playing in his first postseason game, crossed the 10,000 career yardage mark, led the league in total passing yards and yards per attempt, had over 4,000 yards, over 8 yards per attempt, and we met this guy in the meetings down in Atlanta.
We did.
It was just absolutely
We
one
did.
of the nicest guys.
We'll get to that after this play, Colin.
3 receivers. Dunhill fires out to Hollywood. Hollywood outruns everyone and picks up the first down to the 47.
He just beats everybody to the sideline and then beats them to the stick to bring up first down. You know, Dunhill is an amazing guy, and he was a burn victim as an infant. He got caught up in a house fire, you know, when his parents were at home, Colin, and he now helps out with local fire departments and burn camps in his spare time, and led the league in passing yards this season with 4,228 yards and 8.3 per attempt. The amazing Marcus Dunhill, as he is now in plus territory again.
Swings it out to Hollywood. They had to swing it to the double tight end side like they've been doing all game, Rick. Just running off with those 2 receivers to the bottom. And it's a 2nd down and 1 situation. I haven't heard even a single target for Jamal Wooding yet. Would expect that to change here as the game progresses.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, a lot of times you'll see teams ignore one of their stars or their skill player, or seemingly ignore, and then that person gets the call.
2nd and 1. Hollywood easily picks up the first down to the Desperado 35-yard line. Sector 6 is the official Simulation Football League apparel provider. Visit sector6apparel.com and request items for purchase to your team today. Those are a look at some of the SFL branded merchandise.
Terrific looking stuff. Love that London flag too.
Dunhill again going to Hollywood, and Hollywood will pick up 7.
You know, Colin, it occurs to me 2 things. One, we really thank and appreciate our sponsors, and we may have missed a commercial package there at the end of the first quarter. So I expect at some point League Central will call one out for us. So we'll be ready for that in case that happens.
Again, they go to Hollywood. He gets a block and he got a first down. One of his guards pulling in front as Dunhill crosses the 100-yard barrier. He's up to 114, according to Rochelle Colston.
Yeah, and big fan of the spin move, and so fun to watch Hollywood in the open field with that ace move. Right.
There's a look at Eddie Gage, defensive coordinator extraordinaire for the Houston Hyenas, in the chat, basking in the glow of his victory over Chicago as Dunhill fires down the middle. Intended Wooding, but almost ended up in the hands of Espen Real.
Yeah, Eddie Gage, he's a dog.
Real was one of the guys who followed Deion Hawkins over from Chicago. When this team began, Kanye Rockefeller was the other Wildcat player who followed Hawkins westward to Tulsa. Here's the kid to Hollywood up the middle, and he gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 3rd and 10.
A little tried to throw the spin move in sort of pre-line of scrimmage, and as there was trouble, he could tell trouble was coming his way. Still gets thrown for a short loss.
They're down in 10. They need to get to the Desperado 10 for a 1st down. Dunhill is in the gun by himself. Fires quickly, and it is all around and incomplete. Oh, man. Boo Chisholm with a rare drop.
Well, I want to see that on the replay, Colin, because it looked like he actually had it and then fumbled it. He must have been bobbling the ball the whole time.
And we get Jay Miraculous on to kick the field goal. This will be
attempt the field goal.
Yes. Correction. As the right hash is where the ball will be placed down. Snap, spot, kick is on the way, and it is good from 37 yards. So Atlanta takes a 10-3 lead over Tulsa with 6:19 to go. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports Network. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 Sports is brought to you in part by APM Music, Custom Music Production Music Library and Custom Music House. Brought to you in part by Fuel, Beyond the Imagination. Visit the all-new SFL Interactive.net. Matt Doyle Designs, the official branding partner of the SFL. And by MediaTek Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. The aerial shots are brought to you by AirViews, united by Drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage, and that was just some beautiful shots of downtown Atlanta.
As always, can't believe how great they always look. I'm Rick Northrup. Colin is the play-by-play man.
And Rochelle Colston is in the truck doing stats for us tonight. She's doing a great job. As the return by Charles Ball gets him up to the 31, and for Tulsa, you gotta start getting a little anxious.
A little anxious, and here's another reason to be a little anxious. The Rick meter has recently moved one notch in favor of Atlanta. So with 6:15 to go in the second quarter, we've got movement off neutral, pointing to Atlanta.
Sons of Robinson, 2 carries for 2 yards. They have really yet to go to him today. As Jackson's back to throw again. The pass was thrown, but it was knocked away from Corey Jones by Blake Chance. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
Just a little bit too far out in front. And he can't quite haul it in, Colin.
We have a 2nd and 10. As Robinson is in the backfield, Buffalo Marshall's fullback is in front of him. Robinson gets the carry, tries to follow Marshall, breaks a tackle, and will gain as many yards as he had all night on carries. 3rd down and 8. The rest of the postseason schedule is like this. On Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, Alaska takes on Seattle, followed by Tallahassee and Mexico City, a rematch from that game. Then on Wednesday at 7, we have Houston at Denver. And we'll get to the rest of the matchups later on. As throw, the middle is complete.
And all those times were Eastern time.
Yeah.
So if you're in the West, strike 3. If you're in the West, you already know how to do that.
Aaron King with a nice catch as he absorbed a hit from the linebacker. It'll be 1st and 10. Jackson.
I want to go back to, I'm sorry, go ahead, Colin.
Is, she's improving a little bit. She's up to 42 yards passing at this point.
I was just saying that previous running play, which we'll get to in a second.
As the throw is complete to Stephen Bush for 6 yards to the Atlanta 49. The former Renegade catches that one.
Yeah,
following
and
the style.
the swarm defender jumped that route, and fortunate it wasn't intercepted for 6. But 3 plays ago, there was a running play to the right side of the formation for Tulsa. And you mentioned that there was a lead blocker, and I'm not sure if the...
Jackson was hit as she threw by Williams, and number 41 for Atlanta, Sean McGee. He was standing right there. If he just stuck his hands out in front, he could have had that.
He could have had it. Yeah, so I was going to point out the lead blocker was blocking to the outside, and the running back tried to go out, and that the block defender was able to reach out and make the tackle. And I think it was either the blocker was supposed to block down in, or the running back was supposed to cut in. I'm not sure which, but it's those details in the playoffs.
Needing to drop back, and the fire out completion to Corey Jones is good enough for a 1st down.
You can't miss those. You've got to be good at these small details, these little execution bits, because it's win or go home.
And that was good little details by Corey Jones there, making sure he had both feet in bounds and was past his sticks.
Yes, thank you.
Ow! As 1st down pass is blown up by Joshua Williams.
Blown up, sir.
He just beats the guard with a little rip move to the inside.
Exactly.
He took an outside step as his initial one, and he just beat his man to the ball. 2nd and 16.
This is where they're going to depend on Ashley Jackson to make something happen here. And they've got punch to the top, Colin.
He tried to give to Robinson, and he stopped immediately at the line of scrimmage. Laquanis Shine blew that up. So Tulsa is 1-3 all time against the Swarm. They've turned the ball over at least twice in all 4 meetings, have scored 6 points in the 1st quarter combined, and have really harangued Marcus Dunhill, picking him off 9 times and sacking him that many times. It's 3rd and 16.
Oh, are you kidding?
Santo Robinson picks up the 1st down 30, 20, 10, 5, 4, down to the 3-yard line on 3rd and 16, a run of some 47 yards.
Wow, an innocent play, much like the play that preceded it, Colin. And it just goes. Look at that. It's the exact same play.
He ran over Dylan Rowland, who was in the hole, broke one more tackle, and if Laquanis Shine didn't have the angle, Robinson definitely would have scored a touchdown on that play.
Well, I'm totally going to take credit for that, as they apparently took my John Wooden based discussion about paying attention to the details to heart and ran the same play twice. We're going to do this till we get it right. They got a first and goal.
Tight end flexed out is Mosley. Here to get to Robinson one more time to try and finish the job. He stretches down to the 1 yard line.
He darn near bounced into the end zone. Did you see that?
And that was Greg Julian, Williams' defensive line mate. Oops, brought him down there. Second and goal from the 1.
Oh, that's a
2:50 and counting.
I got your back.
Here's Jackson to throw.
Oh, what was
She's
that?
in trouble. Goes up the run. 3 yards back to the 4. Dylan Rowland gets revenge for Robinson running him over.
Right. You know, and when you're an athlete, it's hard to not make the play, but Robinson would have been much better off to just knock that ball to the turf instead of losing a couple. Gonna lose a couple.
Oh, where have I seen this before? They lined up in the shotgun. 2 receivers to top. Jackson is going to fire it in the end zone.
Out. Are they out?
And they're going to call a touchdown on the play to Mike Osai. And we're an extra point away from a tie. I didn't see the initial signal, but I saw one referee running the other way.
I don't know.
Touchdown.
It looks like he's got possession. Doesn't have possession until he's got the first foot out of bounds, but maybe he must have drugged the toe.
Mark Mello.
They were down there and checked out a little toe jam on the turf and called it good.
Here's Mello to try to tie up the game. With 10-0 with 2:13 left. Snap spot. Kick is good. So we're all tied at 10 following a touchdown drive from the Desperados. You're watching Simulation Football League on the 11 Sports Network. Welcome back to the Hive in Atlanta, Georgia. As Mark Mello kicks this one off to third wide receiver.
There's a flag on the play. You know, Colin, when they throw a flag on the play, usually means somebody did something illegal.
And yep, we're going to get the old clipping call on the return.
So yeah, you're kind of bearing the lead. Yeah, we're back at the Swarm, at the Hive in Atlanta. But the big story, the lead is it's tied at 10, Colin. And there was a pretty vigorous argument at the Rick meter during that break. And the Rick meters moved back to neutral.
Future. Ooh, back to neutral.
Back to neutral, yeah.
It's like a brand new ball game.
It's a brand new ball game. It's a whole new ball game. Oh!
Offside free play, Dunhill. Oh, the throw was knocked away. I believe the pass was intended for Chisholm. Newton knocked that away. I wanted to get to an interesting note about Hollywood just for a minute. He has 5 consecutive receiving games of over 100 yards or more. KT Taylor was the man called offside for the Desperados. Coming into today, and he's really been the vocal point of this passing attack, particularly in the short game.
Indeed. Yeah, he's such a weapon and can be used in so many different ways. Really stresses out teams. And I know your St. Louis Gladiators had their hands full trying to figure that piece of the puzzle out.
We did indeed. That guy is definitely slippery in the open field. He gets it again. The man missed the block, but that doesn't matter. He surged ahead for 4 yards. For 4 yards on 1st and 5 to set up a 2nd and 1. And according to our statistician, he is now up to 4 catches for 66 yards. And we've reached the 2-minute warning. You're watching the SFL on the 11 Sports Network. Atlanta's facing a 2nd and 1, and they'll throw. Dunhill will get sacked for the first time. Gipley Dew, who had 20.5 sacks coming into the game, matching his total from a year ago, just beat the defensive tackle with a wide rush. Offensive tackle with a wide rush. Set up a 3rd and 8.
And Dunhill hung on to the rock a little bit too long, too, Colin.
There's Gipley Dew, 41 sacks over the last 2 years, 80 tackles, 60 of them recorded as TFLs. And he has 47 career sacks.
Oh!
Gipley Dew again! He comes right and nails Dunhill right in the back on 3rd and long to set up a 4th and forever.
Did Atlanta's line not see the graphic? I mean, come on. It was right there for everybody to see. Gipley Dew's a stud. We're not going to get a replay, it appears, Colin, but it was like he like just walked into the backfield.
It's like they laid him into the backfield.
Indeed.
And Atlanta looks like they're going to run off some of this clock.
Those linemen are sweating bullets.
That reminds me of a story I'll tell in a minute. This is a return by Charles Ball, breaks a tackle, and we were getting in Atlanta territory at the 44. I remember we were at a Detroit Lions game, and Lomas Brown was giving Jason Hance all kinds of razzing.
He was. They talked about how they'd work themselves down the field, Lomas Brown would, and then they'd get out, and then here come Jason Hansen to kick an extra point or a field goal, and Hansen would take his sweet time, and he says, I'm a 300-pound man sitting in a stance for 25 or 30 seconds. I'm either going to pass out or false start.
And Jackson threw to Buffalo Marshall, who promptly bobbled the ball. So he misread a block earlier, and now he drops a pass. You can go from couch to field by visiting simulationfl.net and joining our Discord community. You bank progression each week to build draft value for your player and compete with hundreds of others to be the next Simulation Football League Superstar. The draft is Saturday, December 14th, right here on the 11 Sports Network.
And, of course, Jason Hansen would just give Lomas Brown a bunch of grief. So if you do your job, you would have scored a touchdown. Wouldn't have had to get the field.
And here was a corner route run by Osai. Timeout called by Tulsa. They'll have one remaining. It's first down to 29 with 29 ticks left. Good throw by Jackson.
Tulsa trying to get in position to break the stalemate here right before halftime. And that would be a bit of a shocker for Atlanta, who had kind of held serve for a decent chunk of the first half so far. But they're a threat to go into the locker room down by at least 3.
Here's Jackson. With trips to the bottom, she's got 4 wide. And they'll give to Robinson. I question the wisdom of that play call.
He was supposed to go down to the 2 and get a 1st and goal like last time.
And Tulsa has to spike the ball on 2nd down. They don't want to burn their timeout over silly plays, so they'll set up 3rd and 9. Which, speaking of 3rd down, Tulsa is 5 of 8 on 3rd down. They picked up 12 first downs so far. This will be play number 34 on the drive.
You think, if you're Ashley Jackson, you're a little bit younger in the league, but if that call comes in off the sideline, I think you still check out of it and throw the ball instead of the hand.
She's in the empty shotgun, 5 wide. Back to throw, has to move her feet, throws, it's intercepted. Intercepted by the Atlanta Swarm, coming back the other way. It's Jack Napier, rather. And Napier gets down to the sworn 27, so the worst case scenario plays out for Tulsa as they come away with no points and get the ball away.
Wow. Well, the one thing your loyal and true analyst Colin did not account for was Tulsa turning the puck over. They were they were even attempt a long field goal there, but you can't take a sack and can't turn the ball over, and that's what happens. 9 seconds to go. Looks like we're headed for a tie at halftime.
And there was some people saying Tulsa should have gone for the field goal at least right away, but BDG Hollywood tearing up some new ground as it gets past the 40, I believe.
There was a
That was a
hanky.
free play.
Yeah, there was a hanky on the field.
And Ghibli Doo trying to get a little head start on the play. They called the stretch play, I believe, to his side, and he just was a half beat too quick. Here's a look at the chat, just reacting to the interception by Jack Napier. And if you want to join us right now, you can go visit the 11 Sports Next Twitter page.
We got quad to the bottom of the screen, Colin. What's
I
happening?
think we got a Hail Mary. Dunhill can go pretty far. Here's the pass down the field. Oh! Siege Falco was down there, but it was swatted away first.
That's going to bring us to halftime.
The score is tied at 10 apiece between Tulsa and Atlanta, who will face Baltimore in the quarterfinals. We still have a half to decide. Pretty even in terms of
Indeed.
yardage. Tulsa more efficient on third down.
The TOP is pretty equal, and no surprise, we're tied at 10, and the Rick meter is back to neutral. It's 2 quarters for the right to move on.
Here's the early fumble by Hollywood. And, you know, if you're Atlanta, you drove down, you got 3 points off the turnover. Although you would have liked to have 7.
You mean Tulsa?
Yeah.
It was Tulsa time. Yeah, how big was that goal line stand, that series for the Atlanta defense right there, holding them to 3. Otherwise, they would be down here at halftime. And again, very exciting game, and all knotted up.
Marcus Dunhill finishes the first half
Yes.
with over 132 yards passing on just about 11 completions. E.G. Hollywood is Atlanta's over 80 yards receiving. He's at 86 at this point. And Jack Napier's pick was huge, considering Tulsa will get the ball first to start
Yeah.
the second half.
So I guess Atlanta's defense, that goal line stand, and then that opportune, there's your SAT word. By the way, if you want to score well on the SAT, boys and girls, build your vocabulary, study your vocabulary. That's the most efficient way to raise your points.
I'm Colin Northrup. He's Rick Northrup. Michelle Colston is doing stats for us. She's been doing a great job. As Miraculous's kick is away. Charles Ball up the middle of the field, spins, 2 spins, and he's brought down at his own 31-yard line.
Well, Atlanta's got to bring in some reinforcements to finally get him to the turf. And here's your schedule. Look at your schedule again, Colin.
Once again, the winner of this game will play Baltimore Wednesday at 9:30, preceded by Houston taking on Denver. The 5-7 Hyenas pulling off the stunner earlier against Chicago. Then as Sonzo Robinson picks up 9 yards on first down. So they stay ahead of schedule. It's averaging close to 6 yards a carry.
Don't forget to mark your calendars for the SFL Championship game on Wednesday, October 30th at 7:30. Let me get my calendar out right here. Make a couple notes on that. Okay. All right, expect everybody else to do the same.
2nd down and 1. Tight end to either side. This is a play to Robinson that was kind of in trouble from the beginning. He wanted to go inside, but was forced to go wide. And Mitchell O'Brien, who had a few interceptions his very first game, he's a Week 7 signee, in there to make the tackle on Robinson.
Yeah, you said it was a Plato Robinson, and I thought, it was Plato Robinson. Maybe that was a new philosophy for you. Player name.
As the throw was to Mosley, who got separated from the ball at the last minute, and Tulsa will be forced to kick the 3 and out to Quanish Shine in the neighborhood.
Yeah, because I know you're a little more partial to Socrates, so that surprised me. Plato comment.
Actually, that was Jack Napier was more in the neighborhood. I don't know why those Mountain Dew fueled boys in the truck decided to put the spotlight on Shine. As great a player as he is, he wasn't involved in the play.
Right. Well, one thing to know about the SFL technical truck, it is fueled by Mountain Dew and Pop-Tarts. As the punt is away.
And this is returned
for
to the
0.
25. So, start of third quarter, you're watching the Simulation Football League on the 11 Sports Network. We're tied at 10 between Tulsa and Atlanta. Bruce. Dunhill in the gun by himself, press coverage across the board. He throws down the middle and is complete to his tight end. That's number 86, Jamal Wooding. I believe that is Mr. Wooding's first catch, I want to say.
It seems like that might be right, Colin. I don't recall calling his name, and he's players we expected to see having a little more action.
He's a big target, too, at 6'6", 255 pounds. Guy runs like a deer. Dunhill, deep drop back. Fires down the middle of the post. It's intercepted. Looking for that very man Wooding, and Charles Ball instead said, nope, I'll take this. Thank you.
Wow, and we'll get another look at it. He had to, we're going to see Dunhill, but Dunhill kind of had to have a little hitch or a skip in the pocket to get himself clear to deliver that ball. And I wonder if that just upset his timing or his aim on that, Colin.
Tulsa this year has given up 227 passing yards per game. That's best in the league. They were 11th last year, so that's an improvement for them. As Sonzo Robinson ran over Jack Napier and picked up 4 yards on the play. Dylan Rowland had to come in and play cleanup.
Napier's everywhere. I think you've called his name on about every other play. That's for 6-7 plays.
His mates call him the Joker.
Joker? Yeah, well, some people call him the gangster of love.
I get it.
Some people call me the space cowboy.
As Buffalo Marshall only managed to pick up 1 yard. Quanish Shine brought the wood to the fullback there. Don't forget to follow us on social media. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. either at Simulation FL or / Simulation FL on all those platforms. With a 3rd down and 5 situation, Jackson will take the snap, throw, knocked away. That was Mitchell O'Brien, the nickelback in that situation, knocking that throw away, and another punt coming up for Tulsa. You get a 3 and out. You get a 3 and out. Everybody gets a 3 and out. That's what I feel like the game has turned into.
It's the Oprah game. There's a 3 and out for you and a 3 and out for you. Gonna degenerate into the Hyena and Chicago game. Back and forth. All of a sudden, it's over.
As Severus calls for the fair catch. Don't forget, Atlanta, against playoff teams the last 2 years, has had no margin to defeat greater than the one they suffered against Seattle, where they lost 34-23 last week. And Marcus Dunhill, once again, throws it out to Hollywood, and Hollywood breaks the tackle and picks up yardage to the Atlanta 38-yard line. He's got to be approaching 100 yards at this juncture, or at some point. He's up to 66 on 7 catches. Made the birthday boy Kanye Rockefeller look a little bit silly.
And there it is. Kanye Rockefeller birthday shout out. Birthday, old man.
Three-man backfield. Hollywood is through. Spun off one guy, but got his clock cleaned by Rockefeller. So he got revenge for being ran over on
run over, excuse me. Talker good or more you do. By the way, Steve Miller is now in the building.
Here is Dunhill changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He quick drop fires it out to Chisholm, who had a kind of weird drop earlier. Gets out of bounds to 44.
Yeah, well, why is it like I feel like I'm holding my breath in this game? Like something's gonna happen here. Thought it was gonna happen right at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah.
I guess then it did. If you're in Atlanta.
Your Wolverines give you enough anxiety.
Yeah, right.
As Dunhill slick.
Oh,
it's
there it is.
There. Charles Bull steps in front of that one for his second interception and could have gone a long way with the football.
Well, the Tulsa fans are happy that I've used my powers of conjuring for good, at least for them.
Boo Chisholm was the intended receiver.
Something happened right there. Well, let's see. Do they do the turn of events quick strike here? Or are they going to break out their offense and try and march themselves into position?
Yeah, let's see. No, they'll look like... Oh, it's another big back-to-back interception. This time it's a Quantas Shine, a linebacker.
You get an interception, and you get an interception.
Oh, man. Quantas Shine grabbing that one out of the air. Pass intended for Anthony Mosley. My word.
Oh, Ms. Jackson, I feel bad for you because he was just standing there. Oh, no. Well, here we go. Become the ball, young grasshopper. Right in the lumberyard.
And you get some reactions you see on your screen to that previous play. Dunhill goes deep, and the pass is complete to each Falco down to the Tulsa 49. Falco had only one catch coming into the drive, and that strike will bring him down. Will up his yardage total in a big way.
Sorry, the chat cracks me up. I shouldn't just randomly giggle unless without something silly or stupid happening in the game. But not afraid to laugh at grown men playing football because stupid stuff does happen.
Dunhill. Quick outcut. It's Falco again. They go back to him. After he had one catch coming into the drive, he picked up close to 10 on the play. If you want to get involved like Shane Falco,
How do I get involved?
CH Falco and go from couch to field, you can join the Simulation Football League's Discord community via our website, simulationfl.net. Bank progression to build draft value for your player, compete with hundreds of others to be the next big superstar, all in preparation for the live rookie draft
And
on Sunday, December 14th.
And sorry, Colin, we've seen some great players come into the league just this season.
As Hollywood picks up the first down to the 36.
Mr. Day comes to mind. Remember that game?
Oh, he was a mid-season signee, but I get what you mean. DeAndre Washington of London was in that draft. He's got Defensive Rookie of the Year all locked up. As they come out with 3 tight ends.
Doing a little heavy scheme, and they're throwing out of it. Oh.
Why not? It's worked for him, and Aspen Real ushers him out of bounds after a gain of 7 yards.
The staple of the SFL, the swing pass, as was noted earlier in the chat, and the bane of my existence. Although, hat tip to Atlanta, they're executing it well. Most of the time, it's thrown too close to the boundary and not giving the receiver a lead. Let them get downfield, but we got 3 in the backfield, Colin.
Here is Hollywood. He'll actually lose.
Yeah,
a yard on the play.
Fooling nobody.
And that was number 57 for Tulsa, Lance Cox, rather, on the tackle. And Dunhill, quick drop, throw out to Hollywood, who gets knocked out of bounds. And they're gonna say he was a yard short, as Dunhill is well over 200 yards for the day.
Colin, who's that real important guy in the chat?
That's Aiden Davis, the Houston Hyenas rookie quarterback.
Apparently, he feels insulted maybe by me. I'm guessing it's you. It's not me, it's you.
It's you. And meanwhile, they're lined up to go for it. And some people can't believe the spot, and Marcus Dunhill's forced to use timeout. Could come back to haunt him later in this game.
Oh, wants to be defensive rookie of the year.
Yep.
Is that how? Yeah. These kids today, all they do is type in letters, reading all this code. Darn you, young people!
Here's Miraculous looking to break the tie. This time, this is out of the right hash. Snap, spot, kick is off the crossbar, no good.
Did you notice that snap, Colin? It had to be sort of reset and replaced. Let's see if we can get a look at it here. Oh.
It did have to be readjusted slightly, but the iron is unkind. We're at 3:45 left in the third. The game is still tied at 10. You're watching the Simulation Football League on the 11 Sports Network. Back on the field, we saw Sonzo Robinson jet up the middle for about a 9-yard pickup.
And we were just during the break talking about that spot and no challenge on that either. And then it's a doink off the crossbar after a janky snap. I mean, it's like I finally started breathing, Colin, after the back-to-back interceptions. Thought, whew, something's going to happen. We're going to break the log jam. And nope,
Uh, Mark Lopez says we're still tied. The Rick meter is going to be stuck in neutral until 30 seconds left at this rate.
the Rick meter, the Rick meter is so antsy. It's itching to do something here. Make a
Sansa
move.
Robinson, 14 carries, 71 yards. There's a third and inches situation. They said he didn't get it, so I guess the crappy spotting goes on both sides. Jackson will throw. And it'll be caught by Anthony Mosley for down to the Tulsa 40.
It's a little flip over the line. Serviceable little play in terms of moving the sticks, and maybe that's what both offenses need to focus on is let's just kind of get ourselves down the field here and see what happens.
Mosley was the 8th overall pick in the rookie draft. For more information on latest rookies and news, visit simulationfl.net. As Jackson broke away from a sack and completed the pass for a 4-yard pickup to Corey Jones. Oh my goodness.
Check out the arm on Jackson too, because even though that's just a short gain, that ball's in the air about 40 yards, throwing from the opposite hash to the far sideline, or from the near hash to the far sideline.
Tom Rahman says he'll scratch the Rick meter if it needs to be itched.
It's twitching. It's nervous.
Standard pro set backfield. Robinson weaving his way through traffic will pick up 4 yards, set up a 3rd and 1 situation. We look at the total number of plays run. This will be play number 49 for Tulsa. Atlanta's run 47. Desperados are 6-12 on 3rd down. They picked up 17 first downs.
Shout out to Rochelle Colston for the stats too. Colin and I are on it all the time, and thank you so much.
And Jackson will throw. It is complete.
That'll move
Down the
sticks.
middle of the field to Michael Science. 5th catch on 7 targets for Michael.
Okay, all right. You know, unfortunately, before these last 2 first downs, the Rick meter was thinking to itself that if it was going to move, it might move in Tulsa's favor because they've had just a little edge in moxie the last couple series, and here they go in the red zone.
Bunch to the top. One man to the bottom. I believe that's Mosley. Jackson will look toward the top side. Complete
go.
to Buffalo Marshall. And Marshall get knocked out of bounds for a nice pickup of 7. Your fullback getting in some work.
You know, the funny thing about that, and of course, it is a fullback, but there's probably more yards for the taking there. But fullbacks generally don't have any open field moves other than to put both hands on the ball and run north and south, right?
Exactly.
That's why they're a fullback.
His second 3. Jackson throw again. Throws end zone. Touchdown! Tulsa! Anthony Mosley.
And there you go, making much yardage in just about 3 plays after they got that last first down. Well placed, nicely thrown, Ashley Jackson.
To Anthony Mosley. The drive summer. That was an 8-play, 71-yard drive following a missed field goal. With the extra point is good, so with 26 seconds left in the quarter, Tulsa takes a 17-10 lead over Atlanta. You're watching the Simulation Football League on the 11 Sports Network. A stunned silence has come over the crowd here in Atlanta, Georgia, as the Swarm are down by 7 points. And
And there's a good return, though. They're going to need a charge.
And the Swarm have been really good at home. They've won 6 of their last 9 at home. And they've scored 5 straight games of at least 31 points at home. There is
kind of puts
Hollywood.
the score a little bit more in perspective, Colin.
Atlanta's drive has been no longer than 43 yards so far this half as Marcus Dunhill fires down the middle of the field. It is complete to number 14, Casey Morgan, for the first down.
And coming out of that PAT, successful PAT by the Desperados, the Rick meter has now moved lean Tulsa. That's the first notch, is a lean Tulsa.
As we approach the end of the quarter, it is 17-10. Tulsa, front of Atlanta. You're watching the Simulation Football League here on the 11 Sports Network. It's the playoffs. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on the 11 Sports is brought to you by Nation's Best Football, helping NFL, college, high school, and youth players to secure the bag. Score Stream, the official live scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, custom esports jerseys and apparel, the exclusive SFL shop provider. And Spygoat, dedicated to the craft of audio. Aerial shots brought to you by AirViews, united by drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage and just some beautiful shots of Atlanta. You know, we saw SunTrust Park in the background, home of the Braves.
Now that's in the neighborhood of where we had the SFL meetings this past summer. Highly recommended if they have meetings again, go.
As Hollywood is spinning like a whirling dervish, he picks up 7.
Well, the pressure's now on Atlanta, Colin.
He's Rick Northrup. I'm Colin Northrup. And Rochelle Colston has been manning the stats all night long. Thank you, Miss Colston. Throw out to Hollywood is complete for a first down to the 28. And you know, Marcus Dunhill's thrown those 2 interceptions today, but other than that, he's been extremely efficient. going to Hollywood a lot. He was now over 100 yards receiving on just 11 catches.
Right, and that brings the home crowd a little bit to life there, Colin, as they're appreciating some forward progress. That's for our Canadian friends. Out of their offense.
Ashley Jackson says the traffic is stupid in Atlanta, and she would know what the on there playing her hometown team tonight. As Hollywood again makes the catch, picks up 5 yards. His blockers left them hanging out to dry. There's Espen Real. You know, Kanye Rockefeller has 4 tackles. Ghibli Doo has 2 sacks. Charles Ball with those 2 interceptions of Dunhill, who's back to throw, fires a pass down the field. It's caught at the 2-yard line. It'll be first goal. That is Boo Chisholm.
Was Chisholm in the slot? Let's see. See where he's lined up. Please help me. I can't see.
He was number 80.
I'll tell you what, the slot receiver hesitated coming off the line, and I think that threw a little chink in the secondary's armor, because he hesitated, and I think they were like, "What? What is that?" You know, mentally speaking, and it broke Chisholm open.
4 catches for 55 yards on 5 targets for Chisholm. As they give it to Hollywood wide, and he is tackled at the line of scrimmage.
He draws a crowd, a lot of fans there on the Tulsa side of the ball. Want to meet him, get his autograph.
Dante West has allowed no touchdowns to the team's top receiver. He's playing in his first postseason game. Was tied for second in the league with pass deflections, had 16. He's 1 away from 50. He's 49 total for his career. Dunhill goes to Hollywood, who gets knocked at the goal line, so he lost a yard, gained a yard back, and Dante West leveled him for his troubles. That's catch number 17 for BDG. Third and goal from the 1-yard line.
They got, you know, it is the playoffs, so if you've got some kind of freaky gizmo gadgety thing, this might be the place.
Here's Gibb to Hollywood, and he walks into for the Atlanta touchdown. And we're an extra point away from a tie.
They throw their basic offense at him and just tell everybody on the line to do their job.
See the powder blue shirts push the white shirts into the end zone. It's too easy.
They're all going to get a touchdown. You get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown. Well, an important PAT here.
And the extra point.
So we're waiting.
And it's up and through. So with 8:12 to go, we have a 17-17 game between Atlanta and Tulsa. And this one is certainly a little bit more back and forth than the other game was.
You know, you're right. Hollywood, BGD Hollywood is a freaky gizmo gadgety thing, all in his own. He's like the Swiss Army knife that magically stays really sharp.
Charles Ball fields the kick, and Ball will get wrapped up at his own 28.
Was he swarm?
You could say that. Sector 6 is the official SFL apparel provider. Visit their website, sector6apparel.com, and request items for purchase to your team. Today, there's a look at some of the teams that have invested, including the Charleston Predators. They got some real nice baseball-style shirts in their shop. As the throw goes out from Jackson, complete to Osai. That's his 5th catch for 61 yards. Corey Jones has 6 catches for 54 yards. Jackson now up to 156 yards passing, 20 of 31. She changes the play at the line of scrimmage. Quick drop back, fires out, and it's in a first down to Mike Osa.
That's how you do it. It's like, please just run past the sticks, and I'm going to sling the rock over to you.
Santo Robinson, 75 yards on 12 carries. He has only 2 receptions for 1 yard, which is kind of strange because he's a former receiver, so you think he'd be a bigger threat out of the backfield.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Offside, free play, Jackson. Sitting in the pocket, has all day to throw. First down, they'll likely decline this penalty.
They will. They will, and with that last score, given the way this has gone, the Rick meters move back to neutral. Officially at neutral. With not much time left, Colin.
Tim Cleveland, the rookie defensive end, was caught guilty of jumping offside. He's 6'5", so he can't exactly hide from the officials when he moves like that.
Right, not like you or I. So under 7.5 to go, we're tied. Ball's at the 50. Tulsa's going to make a bid here.
Tight end flexed out as a third wide receiver. Jackson.
Another play change, huh?
Changing things up. Medium drop back. Another out route.
Oh!
Throw to Corey Jones, who made 2 spin moves, but got his clock cleaned by Blake Chance.
He'll take that in exchange for the first down. Sort of being impressed with Ashley Jackson here. A couple of changed up play calls, focusing on moving the sticks. Big fan of that late in the game.
Made Mitchell O'Brien look absolutely silly.
Right. Left some of his equipment on the field as he bites the turf on that juke.
Here is Jackson. Drops back. Has to let it go. Does to Robinson. Robinson will pick up 7 yards on his third catch. Jackson is quickly over 200 yards.
Well, good athletic move there by Robinson, as that throw was a little janky, not where it should be. Still corrals it, gathers himself, stays in bounds, and can get downfield.
Robinson is with Jackson. Jackson fires. Oh. It's intercept. That is Aaron Lee. And Aaron Lee returns it to the Atlanta 26.
Well, the wisdom of the Rick meter shines through again. We are still at neutral. Oh my gosh. So what's that?
They're
Pick
looking
number
for
4?
Looking for Osai on the slant cut.
What's our game total of picks between both teams?
That is
how many?
Actually 5. That's Jackson's third.
Ah.
Looking for Mike. And they'll likely put this in the hands of Hollywood. They do. And BDG will pick up 3 tough yards through the middle. Espen Real on the tackle. Don't forget, coming up, the rest of the postseason will look like this. Alaska takes on Seattle Tuesday at 7, followed by Tallahassee at Mexico City
at 9:30.
9:30 that day. Then on Wednesday at 7, we have Houston at Denver, and then the quarterfinal matchup between Baltimore and the winner of this game.
Yep.
3rd and 9 coming up as Ghibli Doo makes the TFL.
Little nervous time here now for Atlanta, and the way to think about that is 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday. So get yourself home from work early, or just listen at work, watch at work. Who cares? Boss isn't around.
Here's Dunhill back to throw, fires. It's a post cut to Shane Falco, who moves all the way up to the Desperado 45. And Dante West.
Wow.
Was the man who brought him down, and
just takes it out of his hands.
And Dwayne Schindler in the chat goes, call tech support. The Rick meter is pegged and isn't moving.
That's right. If I only knew some people who knew something about tech. We're the Rick meter. Rick meter pays close attention to what's going on.
Here's Dunhill, fires out. This is Chisholm. He gets knocked out of bounds after pick up a step.
The Rick meter is saying this game is tied and it's a toss-up. Anybody can win it. I think that's a fair assessment. Somebody proved me wrong.
25 of 28 for 250 yards.
Change my mind.
Is
Please.
Marcus Dunhill today.
Sorry. Talking over the talent. I'm going to be put in my place post-game debrief.
Hollywood picks up a couple more yards. He's hovering around 74 yards on the ground, over 100 yards receiving.
74 yards.
This is a desperado rush defense that gives up over 111 yards. I'm talking, don't mock me. And this is the third worst in the last 2 years, is that number. The throw goes out to Hollywood once again. I believe he's getting up near double-digit receiving yards for double-digit receptions. Not second and 6.
Tulsa's throwing a little hitch with a line shift there. Late line shift.
Dunhill, slant cut, dude. Chisholm down to 15. And Boot Chisholm now up to 62 yards on 5 catches. Just runs a nice inside slant. Corner playing a little off of him. Easy pickets.
Extra chat points for somebody mentioning absolute zero.
And Dunhill in the gun. Flanked by either back. Will throw from the gun. Has to move and throws out. Let me get the number on that. That is Jamal Wooding, only his second catch.
An important one right there and a great play as it
Sets up a second.
Sorry, as it was starting to be blown up and Dunhill still makes something happen. Go ahead.
It sets up a 2nd and 3 to make it more manageable.
Hey, while we're young.
And the throw out to Hollywood. He's got space. He picked up the first down. It'll be 1st and goal to the 3. Clock winding toward the 2-minute warning. Most likely will be the last one before 2 minutes. We'll see.
I don't think they're going to get lined up in time.
They get lined up, but they won't. You're watching the Simulation Football League on the 11 Sports Network. We're tied at 17 between Tulsa and Atlanta. Don't go anywhere. Out of the 2-minute warning, the Atlanta Swarm come out with 3 tight ends across the board. Here's Marcus Dunhill, fires it out to BDD Hollywood and walks in for the touchdown.
Breaks the ice, breaks the late game 17 tie. I'm not sure how Hollywood was kind of wide open and didn't have a spy on him. It's not like, he's a nobody. And good on you, Atlanta.
This guy coming into the game had over 934 receiving yards to his name to go along with 1,100 rushing yards. He had 5 straight games of over 100 receiving yards, and he well on his way to probably eclipsing 150, perhaps, at the rate he's going.
Well, on the backs of Marcus Dunhill and BGD Hollywood, they come over and personally move the Rick meter into lean Atlanta. We'll see what Tulsa can conjure up here with what might most likely be their last possession of the game.
You get a look at the chat and people reacting to that last touchdown. If you want to join us, the place to be is the 11 Sports Next Twitch page. Online and little fumble. Charles Ball fumbled the ball and it was picked up by the swarm at the Tulsa 30-yard line. Blake Chance down there on special teams grabbed the ball and oh my word.
Well, let's take a look and see. Spinning. Uh-oh, starting to hold it like a loaf of bread, and that's all she wrote.
They have all 3 timeouts.
So Tulsa's last possession lasts a lot, is shorter than anybody expected. Basically about 10 yards on the return, 15 yards on the return.
Here's the throw to Hollywood. He gets
first down.
Two defenders.
He gets himself into the red zone, doesn't care that he goes out of bounds. They're solidly in the field goal range,
which could effectively put the game out of reach.
Well, the Rick meter is now a solid Atlanta. Based on those last 2 plays, the fumble recovery and inside the red zone.
Two receivers to the bottom of the formation. Dunhill to Hollywood. Spins, kept it in bounds. Tulsa down to their last timeout. As the clock stopped with 1:39 to go.
Well, an improbable turn of events here, Colin, in the last 3-4 minutes of the game.
And they're going to swing it out to Hollywood one more time. He gets the first down, but he got out of bounds. But he got the first down. Nate Headlap knocked him out. And for BDG Hollywood, that is his catch number 21 for 152 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. He's averaged 7 yards a catch. And now we're going to see the victory formation. Timeout called by the Desperados. So it's looking more official. Like this coming Wednesday, we'll see the Atlanta Swarm travel to Baltimore to take on the Vultures. Preceded by Houston taking on Denver. But before that, on Tuesday, we have Alaska at Seattle at 7. Succeeded by Mexico City at Tallahassee.
Succeeded. You succeeded in succeeding. Well, I'm exhausted, Colin. This game was tight right down to the end. And then suddenly, boom. What happened?
What happened is Atlanta forced turnovers, and the special teams, led by Blake Chance, who starts at free safety, ultimately ended up making the difference.
Well, good for really both teams on defense trying to pitch that game, pitch the defense in a way that kept both teams in it. It was exciting to watch. And then it's like the ice finally broke, the dam broke, whatever metaphor you want. And here's some insult to injury.
It's a field goal by Jay Miraculous. It's up and good from 23. So it's now a 10-point game.
Well, it's not really an insult, though. It's a 2-score game. It's the way you got to play it, even with 12 seconds left. Lightning could strike. I mean, we've seen that movie before.
We've seen sillier things happen. And Charles Ball is electric.
I've seen some silly walks in there.
This kick, fielded by Ball, spins. This time he hung on to the ball. 6 seconds. And welcome to the postseason Atlanta. They played 74 games in their history. And this is their first one at the Hive. They're 36-38 all time. Ranks number 10 in wins. 1-1 in playoffs before this game, and they have the most wins any team not to host a playoff game. They lost in the semifinals, double overtime to Chicago in season 9. It's Ashley Jackson will throw this one knocked in the air by Dylan Rowland. 2 seconds left, pass intended. Corey Jones, who has had 7 catches on 9 targets. Well, the Atlanta Swarm, in a year which has seen the Atlanta Braves get knocked out in the divisional round of the NLDS, Atlanta Falcons season seemingly going in reverse. The Atlanta Swarm have given City of Atlanta something to cheer about as Ashley Jackson will throw one more interception to Aaron Lee. That's the ball game. Final score: Atlanta 27, Tulsa 17.
Well, a pair of really exciting playoff games tonight, Colin, and SFL After Dark did not disappoint. We see Dunhill in action.
Kanye Rockefeller ended up with 11 tackles. Joshua Williams had 1 sack. And as we continue to go through the highlights, Jay Miraculous was 2 for 3. His miss didn't end up costing the team anything. It was Servus who ended up being a key difference for Atlanta in the return game, in the fact that he held on to the ball.
Who do you think the player of the game is going to be?
It's got to be BDG Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well over 200 yards total offense. Scored,
Yeah, I think, and Dunhill,
3 of his team's touchdowns.
Dunhill's the other one. He had a good game too, but I think you're right. I'd go with Hollywood. Single-handed difference maker.
Dunhill is just a stone cold killer out there.
Right. There was one of the key plays coming down the stretch.
There was that completion to Siege Falco. Want to shine, in addition to his interception, led his squad with 8 tackles. In the end, it was the It was the Tulsa on the 6 that ended up costing them the game, and the player of the game will be, drumroll please, BDG Hollywood. 2 total touchdowns, 19 carries, 64 yards, 168 receiving yards. Holy crap.
Yeah, one rushing, one receiving, and just moving, helping them move the ball all over the place.
Well, for those of us in the Simulation Football League, I'm Colin Northup. He's Rick Northup. Michelle Colston was on stats. Thank you very much. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League. Cameron Irvine. Good night, everyone.